Hello students, welcome to a new lecture of chemical bonding. In the last class we were discussing about different types of hybridizations, in which we have seen sp hybridization, sp2 hybridization and sp3 hybridization, each having many molecules, but we have seen one in each category. But in sp3 we have seen methane, ammonia and water, right? So going in these three types of hybridization, s orbital and p orbitals are involved, but the remaining hybridizations which we have is sp3d, sp3d2. In these type of hybridizations, apart from s and p, we have d orbitals also involved. So now let us look at these two type of hybridizations by taking an example in each category. Okay. Coming to sp3d hybridization. In these type of hybridization, which atomic orbital intermixes is 1 s orbital plus 3 p orbitals and 1 d orbital. These 5 atomic orbitals intermixes with each other to give a hybrid orbital, in which all the 3 orbital has some percentages of characters, and as 5 atomic orbitals are intermixing, you will get 5 hybrid orbitals in this type of hybridization, right? Example of this type, let us take individually. S orbital is spherical, p orbital is like this, and d orbital is double, right? These type of hybridals intermixes to give sp3d hybrid orbitals. Example for this category is PCl5 molecule, phosphorus pentachloride molecule, in which the central atom is phosphorus. So hybridization takes place in the central atom only. So now let us look at the electronic configuration of phosphorus, right? As phosphorus is coming in the third period, we will only see its valence electronic configuration, which is 3s2, 3p3, d orbitals are 0. This is ground state electronic configuration. This is ground state electronic configuration, in which valence electrons are how many? It has 5 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3. Right? So in the ground state, there are no electrons in d orbitals. Right? There are a total of how many chlorines surrounding the phosphorus? Is 5 chlorine atoms are surrounding the phosphorus, and 5 of them need 1 orbital from phosphorus for overlapping. Right? So which 5 orbitals will phosphorus give to chlorine? These 3 and this, right? And therefore, if it needs 5 orbitals to overlap with 5 chlorine atoms, all those 5 orbitals of the phosphorus should be same. So how can it be possible? It is only possible by shifting 1 electron here, because each orbital should have one electron to overlap with 5 chlorines, because chlorine also comes with its own electron, and 1 electron of phosphorus, 1 electron of chlorine overlap to make a bond, right? So there are a total of 5 electrons, and 5 orbitals should have one electron each. So 1 orbital goes towards that, and we will get first excited state, in which 1 electron from here goes to d orbital, and now an electron is getting occupied even in d orbitals. Now intermixing takes place, or hybridization takes place. Right? And you will get 5 orbitals of sp3d hybridization. These 5 orbitals overlap with these 5 orbitals overlap with chlorines to give a shape which is trigonal bipyramidal. Trigonal we have already seen in boron trichloride. This is trigonal, right? Bipyramidal means on this triangle there is one at the top, one at the bottom. All these 5 are nothing but chlorines. And in this molecule, the bond angle between all the chlorines and phosphorus are not same, and all the nature of all the chlorines is not same. In this molecule, we are having 3 types of chlorine which are same. The 3 chlorines which are on the triangle or on the plane of the triangle are called as equatorial chlorines, and the one who are at the top and at the bottom are called as axial. Right? The bond angle between equatorial chlorines and phosphorus is 120 degrees, and the bond angle between axial chlorine and the plane is 90 degrees. Axial chlorine and the plane is 90 degrees. Right? So it's not same for all the chlorines. It does not have any lone pair. Remember that on phosphorus there is no lone pair left. All the 5 electrons present in the phosphorus are utilized to make equivalent bond with 5 chlorine atoms, right, giving a shape of trigonal bipyramidal. Shape is trigonal bipyramidal. Bipyramidal means at the top you can get one pyramid, at the bottom you can get one pyramid, giving rise to bipyramidal. Hybridization is sp3d. Bond angle is not same throughout. Equatorial chlorines, with equatorial chlorine the bond angle is 120 degrees. With axial chlorine the bond angle is 90 degrees. Right? So these are the details of PCl5 in which sp3d hybridization takes place. Let us look at sp3d2 hybridization. sp3d2 hybridization is taking place in which instead of one d orbital you will have 2 d orbitals involved, and the example for that is SF6 molecule. The example is SF6. Directly we will study SF6 molecule only, in which the central atom is sulfur. What is the electronic configuration of sulfur? Valence electronic only we will take 3s2, 3p4, 3d0. In d orbital there are no electrons right now, right? So this is the ground state electronic configuration of sulfur, and in this sulfur is surrounded with 6 fluorine atoms. So in sulfur there should be 6 electrons present in 6 different orbitals. In sulfur there should be 6 electrons present in 6 different orbitals. But is it there or not? Let us look at how many orbitals are present here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 atomic orbitals are having an electron in them, but it needs 6. So what should happen? These 2 also should be used, in which electron from here should go here. And if that is taking place, then even these 2 orbital gets one electron each, and all the 6 becomes equal, and all the 6 after undergoing hybridization can overlap very easily with 6 fluorine atoms which is surrounding sulfur, right? So now let us look at excited state configuration which takes place after giving 2 electrons into d orbitals also. S orbital has 1 electron only, p orbital has 3 electrons only, and now from S and p d orbitals got 2 electrons, right? So 1s, 3p and 2d intermixes to give sp3d2 hybridization, right? So now once the hybridization is formed, what is the shape or what is the geometry is octahedral geometry, in which fluorine, 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 fluorine. In each orbital there is only one electron, and one more electron from where it comes is fluorine. Fluorine will come and give one electron here, one electron, second fluorine here, third fluorine here, fourth fluorine here, fifth is here, sixth is here, right? So by doing so, electron pair, one bond, electron pair, one bond, electron pair, one bond, like that 6 bonds will be formed and the shape becomes octahedral, right? And the same goes for this molecule also. Bond angle is not same. The fluorines which are on the it's same in this molecule, because the fluorines present on plane is having 90 degrees with each other, and the fluorine present on axis is also having 90 degrees with respect to the plane. Hybridization is sp3d2 and geometry is octahedral, right? This is SF6 molecule. And here, as all the molecules, we have not written a pair of electron coming from surrounding atom. For this also let us do the same and show only for sulfur, which is the central atom. This is SF6 molecule in which hybridization is sp3d2, right? By this we have finished hybridizations now, and these hybridizations was part of valence bond theory, right? And after this we have one more theory called as molecular orbital theory. And what we have to differentiate between these two theories is, in valence bond theory they were talking about atomic orbitals present in the central atom of a molecule. Suppose if this is the molecule, valence bond theory says that in every molecule the central atom has which orbitals? Atomic orbitals. The central atom having atomic orbitals, there the hybridization takes place, is the concept of valence bond theory. But the next theory which we are going to study is molecular orbital theory. Molecular orbital theory. According to this theory, what they say is, atomic orbitals present in the atoms will have atomic orbitals, right? Atomic orbitals of the atoms overlap with each other or combine with each other to give molecular orbitals, and in the molecule atomic orbitals will not be there, and what is there is molecular orbitals. So once the molecule is formed, you should not see the atomic orbitals, you should only see molecular orbitals, which are formed by linear combination of atomic orbitals, and we call it as linear combination of LCAO. By linear combination of atomic orbitals, all the atomic orbitals present in a molecule will overlap with each other or will combine with each other to give how many atomic orbitals are combining, that many molecular orbitals in a molecule. And once the molecule is formed, its identity completely changes, and molecular orbitals will have electrons inside them, atomic orbitals will not have any electrons inside them, right? So this theory is based on atomic orbitals and hybridization. MOT theory has molecular orbitals and electrons are present inside the molecular orbitals. So now let us look at molecular orbital theory applied on simplest molecule called hydrogen, right? According to this theory, what it says is, how many atomic orbitals combine with each other, that many molecular orbitals will be formed. How will they combine? Linear combination of atomic orbitals will give you molecular orbital. Suppose if 2 atomic orbitals are combining, you will give 2 molecular orbitals, out of which one molecular orbital is called as bonding molecular orbital and the other is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital. Right? If two atomic orbitals are combining with each other, you will get how many molecular orbitals? Two only. Same as hybridization. How many atomic orbitals participate in hybridization? That many hybrid orbitals you got there. Same way here, how many atomic orbitals are combining with each other? That many molecular orbitals you get. Out of that, half of the molecular orbitals will become bonding molecular orbitals and half of the molecular orbitals will become anti-bonding molecular. Exactly half becomes bonding and exactly half becomes anti-bonding molecular orbitals. The molecular orbital which is bonding molecular orbital will have less energy and anti-bonding will have more energy on the energy diagram, right? So when you take energy profile diagram of any molecule, in that energy profile, bonding molecular orbital will have lower energy and anti-bonding molecular orbital will have higher energy, and in them the electrons will be filled following the same rules as atomic orbitals. To fill the electrons in atomic orbitals, we have followed Aufbau's principle, Hund's rule and Pauli's exclusion principle, right? The same rules should be applied even to fill the electrons in molecular orbitals, right? The molecular orbital, atomic orbitals, what are the different atomic orbitals we have? S, P, D and F are the atomic orbitals. In S we have 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, right? And in P also 2p, 3p, 4p and D also 3d, 4d, 5d, right? These are the atomic orbitals. Same way molecular orbitals are a little different but with the same thing. Sigma 1s, sigma 2s, sigma 3s. Same continues for sigma. Sigma means it is not a atomic orbital, it is a molecular orbital. Same way pi 2p, pi 3p, pi 4p, right? Same way delta 2p, delta 3p, delta 4p. So the molecular orbitals are sigma, pi and delta, and these are bonding molecular orbitals. If I want to take anti-bonding molecular orbitals, they are the same but higher energy only, so the difference is this only, pi star, sigma star and delta star. In the diagram of energy profile, sigma, pi and delta will be lower in energy, sigma star, pi star and delta star will be higher in energy. So now let us apply those and see its increasing order in the energy profile diagram for hydrogen molecule. Right? This is hydrogen molecule which is in the center. How is it formed? By combining two hydrogen atoms, right? When two hydrogen atoms combine with each other in the form of linear combination of atomic orbitals, you will get hydrogen molecule. What is the electronic configuration of one hydrogen? 1s1. What is the electronic configuration of another hydrogen? 1s1, right? 1s1 has one electron and this 1s1 also has one electrons. Total how many atomic orbitals are there? Here there is one atomic orbital. Excuse me. Here there is one atomic orbital and here there is another atomic orbital. Total 2 atomic orbitals are combining in hydrogen molecule. So how many molecular orbitals you get is 2. Out of that, half of them becomes bonding and half of them becomes anti-bonding, right? Half of them becomes bonding and they are having low energy, and another half of them will become anti-bonding and they have high energy. This is energy profile diagram of hydrogen molecule, right? This is atomic orbital, this is also atomic orbital, and these two are molecular orbitals, right? In which the lower energy is called as bonding molecular orbital and the higher energy is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital. What is the name of molecular orbital? Sigma, pi and delta. Here only sigma is used. So what is the name of this? Sigma. What is the atomic orbital? 1s. So you will write 1s. Whatever is the bonding molecular orbital, exactly same will be anti-bonding molecular orbital. So for anti-bonding, we will just write sigma star 1s. If bonding is sigma 1s, anti-bonding becomes sigma star 1s. Right? These are the molecular orbitals we got. Now we have to fill the electrons in the molecular orbitals by following the same rules. Total how many electrons will be there in molecular orbitals? Count the total electrons present in a molecule. 1 plus 1, 2. So here, without pairing of lower energy, can we go to the higher energy? No. So all the 2 electrons comes here only. No need to take any electron to this level. This is the molecular orbital energy profile diagram of a hydrogen molecule, which is the simplest molecule in the only. So this is the energy profile diagram of hydrogen molecule, in which out of the 2 electrons, if I follow Aufbau's principle, Hund's rule, Pauli's exclusion principle, the 2 electrons should be accommodated here only. After pairing this lower energy, if there are any electrons, I would have gone to the next level, but I don't have any electrons more than 2. So only 2 electrons comes here only, right? So you have filled the electrons. Now let us write electronic configuration of hydrogen molecule, not hydrogen atom. What is the electronic configuration? Who is least in energy? Sigma 1s. How many electrons it has? 2. Next, sigma star 1s. Does it have any electron? No. So even if you don't write also, it's not a problem. The electronic configuration of hydrogen molecule is sigma 1s2. Right? So now let us apply the same energy profile diagram for helium molecule. I will make a change for helium molecule here itself. This is helium molecule. Helium atom 1, helium atom 2. Right? What is the electronic configuration of helium atom is 1s2. Second helium atom also 1s2. So each helium has how many electrons? 2 electrons each. So in a molecule of helium, total how many electrons should be there? 4 electrons. And in a molecule of helium, how many molecular orbitals should be formed? Here 1 atomic orbital. Here another atomic orbital. Total molecular orbitals should be 2 only, and total electrons should be 4. Out of that 4 electrons, I should start filling of electrons from the lower energy, which is bonding molecular orbital. So I have added 2 electrons in this. I cannot add the third electron also in this because already the electrons are paired. So now where should the third electron go? It should go to the next higher energy orbital, which is sigma star 1s, in which I have added third electron. Where will the fourth electron go? Can the fourth electron go to the next higher energy? No, it cannot go unless you do pairing. And after pairing, you have finished all the 4 electrons which helium molecule should have, right? Out of the 4 electrons, you have given 2 electrons for bonding molecular orbital, which is sigma 1s, and 2 electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbital, which is sigma star 1s. So right now let us write that electronic configuration of helium molecule, which is sigma 1s2 and sigma star 1s2 also has 2 electrons, right? This is the electronic configuration of helium molecule, which is the same. Two atomic orbitals combined to give 2 molecular orbitals. Out of that, half will be bonding, half will be anti-bonding, right? Now let us apply the same molecular orbital energy profile diagram to the next molecule, which is lithium. What is the next molecule? Lithium molecule, right? What is the electronic configuration of each lithium atom? 1s2, 2s1. Another lithium atom, 1s2, 2s1, right? So let us write the electronic configuration. 1s2, 2s1, right? Atomic orbitals of 2 lithium will combine to give molecular orbitals of lithium molecule. How many atomic orbitals will combine? That many molecular orbitals you get. So now let us count a total of how many atomic orbitals are present in lithium molecule. Orbitals we will count. After that we will count electrons. but the first step is to count the number of atomic orbitals so that you will take the required number of molecular orbitals. Right? This is 1 atomic orbital, 2, 3 and 4. Total 4 atomic orbitals are present. So even molecular orbitals should also be 4. Out of 4 molecular orbitals, half of them will be bonding and half of them will be anti-bonding. Where will the bonding molecular orbital go? Right? Sigma 1s, sigma star 1s. And you remember that we are taking this electronic configuration based on energy. Right? So, the lower energy atomic orbital is 1s. 1s and 2s of lithium cannot be same. First you have to take 1s and then take 2s. (2s1 of lithium, 2s1 of lithium), right? And they also combine with each other. One and 2, total 2 atomic orbitals will give 2 molecular orbitals. 1 and 2, total 2 atomic orbitals give 2 molecular orbitals, because this is first main shell. So first main shell combines together, then second main shell combines together. The requirement of molecular orbital theory is all the atomic orbitals just cannot combine with each other. To combine linearly, they should have the requirement of energy of the combining atomic orbitals should be same, symmetry of the combining atomic orbitals should be same, and they should have same overlapping capacity, right? Their shape should be similar, their strength should be similar, their energy should be similar. So 2s cannot combine with 1s and 1s cannot combine with 2s. So you should combine the similar orbitals only, not any orbitals. So therefore we have taken separately 1s2 of one lithium, 1s2 of another lithium only, and after combining that shell we went to the next shell, which is 2s1 and 2s1 of 2 lithiums, right? So now let us count the number of atomic orbitals. 2 molecular orbitals are also 2. Number of electrons are 4. So here also start filling 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what is the configuration of this? Sigma 1s2 and sigma star 1s2, right? This is the electronic configuration of the first level. Then after going to the next level, here 1 plus 2, total 2 electrons which comes here. So what is the electronic configuration of this? Sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s, there are no electrons, so left vacant, right? Now let us write the electronic configuration of lithium molecule, not lithium atom but lithium molecule, which is sigma 1s2, then sigma star 1s, sigma star 1s2, then sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2 don't have any electron, therefore whether you write or not doesn't make any difference. So let us stop here only, right? This is the electronic configuration of lithium atom. Now in the previous molecules and in this molecule also, once the molecule is formed, you should be able to calculate how many bonds are present in a molecule, and that is nothing but calculation of bond order. Bond order means, roughly it means the number of bonds present in the molecule, right? And for that the formula is number of bonding electrons, minus number of anti-bonding electrons by 2. How many number of bonding electrons are present in lithium? 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is anti-bonding molecule. Whoever has a star, that orbital is anti-bonding orbital, you should not count them under bonding orbital, right? that formula is for total number of electrons present in the bonding molecular orbital minus total number of electrons present in the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Let us write that total number of bonding electrons, total number of anti-bonding electrons. So, in lithium molecule, how many number of bonding orbitals are there? This is bonding 1. Next 2. Total 2 bonding orbitals in which 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 electrons are there. Bond order of lithium molecule is equal to 4 minus, where are anti-bonding? Here only. Electrons are only here 2 by 2. 2 by 2 is 1, therefore in lithium molecule there is only one bond between two lithium atoms, right? This is a simple molecule. In helium also you will get the bond order as 2 only, as 1 only, and in hydrogen molecule also you will get the bond order as 1 only, right? Now let us apply the same molecular orbital energy diagram for the next molecule, which is beryllium. Okay. What I will do is, instead of rubbing and drawing the diagram again, I will make the changes here itself. Right, this was lithium, now I will take beryllium. What is the electronic configuration of beryllium? 1s2, 2s2, right? So 1s2 is this, 2s2 is this. This is one beryllium, this is another beryllium. What is this then? Beryllium molecule. This is beryllium atom, this is also beryllium atom. In beryllium atom 1s2, 2s2. In beryllium atom 1s2, 2s2. 2s2 means 2 electron, 2s2 means 2 electrons, right? So now how many atomic orbitals? 2. So 2, this is same, nothing will happen to the first shell. What is the next shell? In the next shell 2 electrons in one atom, 2 electrons in one atom, a total of 4 electrons, in which I have added only 2, the remaining 2 comes here. So even in anti-bonding orbitals also you are getting 2 electrons. Now let us write the electronic configuration in which 2 electrons got added. So how many bonding orbitals we have? This is bonding, not bonding, this is bonding. Total 4 bonding. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus anti-bonding are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So in beryllium molecule you will get this molecular orbital diagram in which the bond order is 0. That means beryllium molecule doesn't exist, because it should have bond order, at least one bond should be there between 2 atoms, but are you getting at least even a single bond? No, you are not getting. That means beryllium molecule don't exist. From molecular orbital theory you can easily find out how much will be the bond order. Based on the bond order, what will be the strength of the molecule also you can find out. So this is beryllium molecule which you don't have, but for our understanding we have seen to know that if bond order is 0, that means molecule don't exist. Now let us move on to next molecule, which is from boron, carbon, nitrogen in our next class. Okay, thank you.